Welcome to All New Variant Reviews. On this episode, we review Marvel Legends Infinite Series Hawkeye. Well, alright, here we have the Odin Wave Hawkeye, and it comes with the torso here for the Build-A-Figure. Now, on the side of the box, you actually get a little bit of different kind of artwork here for the Marvel Legends, and a little shot of Hawkeye pulling his little bow and arrow back. And on the back, we have a picture of Hawkeye here. And it says, a master archer, Hawkeye takes down evil from afar. And there's a good shot of the Odin Build-A-Figure there with the rest of the figures in the wave. Now, without going into a whole backstory on the character, now I may be wrong, but I do believe this is the Dark Hawkeye from the Dark Avengers. Now, when you compare it to the other Hawkeye that's been in the regular Avengers, you can see they look completely different. But I think this figure is the Dark Hawkeye, not to be confused with Clint Barton. I think this is actually the Bullseye in the Dark Avengers, but who knows? Let's just call him Hawkeye for now. So before we get into the actual figure, here's the Build-A-Figure piece that it comes with. Now here's the chest, and has like the lower torso, of course, minus the legs. See that? So it looks pretty cool, man. I'm really liking a lot of the detail they put into this Build-A-Figure. Yet it's not a big Build-A-Figure, but it does have some detail. So here I have one of the accessories. This is the quiver that goes on his back, and some arrows are in there too. So, I mean, you can't really take any of the arrows out, which kind of sucks, but it's real plain. Just a lot of purple, a little bit of white there, and you just insert it on his back. So here we have the bow, and sadly it doesn't come with any arrows or anything like that, but this is the exact same mold from one of the other Hawkeyes. And so there's nothing new here. So overall, I'm looking at the figure. It looks pretty great. Now, there are a couple things that I'm not liking about it, and I'll get into that right now. So here we have the head sculpt here, and I really do like it. I mean, there's nothing really bad here. I just do have one minor gripe, is they probably could have made just a better expression on his face. But that's really it. I mean, but other than that, I mean, I really do like it. It looks pretty dope. I mean, you can see the H there and everything. I also like the detail they went here with this little scales here. I love that. Now, one thing I do want to point out on this arm here. Now, this isn't an original piece, sadly. Now, this is actually the same mold from the Winter Soldier's metallic arm. And it's even down to the glove, actually. So, when you look closely, you can see this glove, you know, looks totally different from this glove here. Now here's a good look at his little skirt here. And it's kind of a little bit of pliable material here. And then he has a back one too. And his little pirate boots. In the way of articulation, his head does turn all the way around. He does look down slightly, and he does look up a little bit as well. Not too much, but he looks more down than up, obviously. As far as arm articulation goes, his arm does turn all the way around. And it does hinge open there. He has a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows. And he has a little articulation here on the wrist. Slightly. There's like a little hinge there, so you can kind of do that. And it has a swivel there on the wrist as well. Now, one thing I do want to point out, he does have chest articulation here, but it is hindered here a little bit by this little addition, this belt slash chest detail, I guess. I don't know what you call it. But if you want to take it off, let's say you want to customize this guy, you just take this little thing off. You just unhinge it, and you can just pop it off. Little articulation. Again, it is kind of hindered here. See that? Not a lot of action there. It's just very subtle. He does have a waist swivel, by the way. Down to the legs, I do want to mention, when I got this figure right out of the box, this guy is crazy loose and very wobbly. Look at that. I don't know if that translates well on the camera, but I don't think it should be wiggling that bad. But if you lift up that little skirt there, you can lift up his leg that high up, which is great. He has like these little splits here, not Van Damme style, but good enough. He has an upper thigh swivel up here. He has double jointed knees. Look at that. He has a calf swivel here. He has ankle articulation and an ankle pivot as well, / ankle rocker. And he has peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So at the end of the day, would I actually recommend getting this figure? Honestly, I actually would, especially to those that are trying to collect like the Dark Avengers, also Sentries in this wave as well. Just throwing that in there. So having this Hawkeye with Sentry, Ares, and the other Dark Avengers, that's really going to look pretty sick, especially on your display. And also the Build-A-Figure in this wave is pretty sick as well, because for a long time, Marvel Legends collectors have been wanting an Odin Build-A-Figure for a while. So finally that's happened. So I think this is another reason to get this figure. But all in all, I think it's a solid figure. I just think mine's personally is crazy loose and whatnot. But, I mean, there are a couple things I didn't like as far as like the arm being the Winter Soldier's arm. Maybe could have did a little bit something different to the arm. So that way it's just not a repurposed arm. But, you know, it's all good. Now, again, as the Detailed Jackal, I want to thank you guys for watching another episode of Variant Reviews. Again, check out CityRockersApparel.com. So before you guys forget, hit the subscribe button, please.